another entry from the Omni-Bestiary. Today's subject is a species native to the outer rim planet of Utapau. Utapau is a place whose harsh, stormy surface forced most of the life on it into the many sinkholes and subterranean caverns that line this planet. Hence, most of the creatures here have adapted to thrive in these specific environments. This includes the giant wall-climbing gintho spider, the updraft gliding dactylian, and today's subject, the Varactyl. Before we continue, I should mention that after the galaxy containing Utapau was consumed by the multiversal singularity known as Disney, many aspects of this realm were split into two different continuities. The Legends continuity, which contains aspects and events of this galaxy that occurred before its assimilation, but were removed from the canon continuity, the one that is currently molding. That being said, for the sake of simplicity, I will not focus on one specific continuity for this analysis, as the differences in this creature between either version of the world presented to me are not especially significant. So with that out of the way, let's get going. The Varactyl is a quadrupedal reptavian, a term used to describe creatures in the outer rim possessing characteristics of both reptiles and avians, a plausible concept concerning their close evolutionary heredity. In order to scale the cliff faces and uneven terrain of its homeworld, the Varactyl possesses sharp claws and lamellae on each of its 5 toes. Like in geckos, these lamellae contain thousands of microscopic strands called setae that allow them to adhere to surfaces with intermolecular forces. Although its sharp beak seems suited for tearing through flesh, it is actually a herbivore that feeds on algae and roots. However, its beak and claws do come in handy if it needs to defend itself, in addition to its bone-plated skull and long whip-like tail. The Varactyl is a cold-blooded ectothermic organism, and is therefore only active in the day, as it cannot produce its own body heat, and it needs to absorb some from outside sources, such as sunlight. At night, Varactyls huddle together for warmth, as well as to protect their young from nocturnal predators. Varactyls are also known to exhibit sexual dimorphism, the presence of different characteristics between males and females of the same species. Females possess a bright, vivid crown of feathers, as well as tail spines for additional defense. Males, on the other hand, are duller in coloration and have spines in the middle of the body for courting. These differences seem to imply that Varactyls are a polyandrous species, where a single female mates with multiple males. If this is the case, then the exaggerated plumage and coloration of the female Varactyls would serve to attract the attention of the males. Of course, the specific reason for a species to adopt these kinds of strategies depends on whatever variables it is exposed to in its environment. But some potential benefits from polyandry include increased success of copulation for mating multiple times, parental investment for multiple fathers who have no idea their child is carrying their genes, but will defend them in case they do, and access to a wider gene pool, allowing for improved genetic variability and quality for offspring. The Varactyl is best known for being a mount for trained riders, having been tamed by the Utai people of Utapau to navigate their home. As a steed, the Varactyl is a loyal creature to those who showed affection, even to the extent of showing attachments to them. However, it shows little remorse for abusive or lousy ones, though that kind of applies to any sow creature, doesn't it? The Varactyl's value as a mount has been noted by others in the galaxy, and has thus been imported to other planets for applicable activities, such as for the tradition of the Grand Hunt on Pijal. Unfortunately, this has led to the emergence of invasive subspecies, like with Kashik's population of death spine varactyls. The primary reason for the varactyl's popularity is its swiftness, with some even being staged to overtake swoop bikes in head-to-head races. The varactyl's ability to run this fast over long periods of time could be attributed to two physiological traits. The first is from the muscle mass built from its lifetime of scaling vertical faces, which would contribute to the muscles involved in running, in addition to the ones needed for their commonly observed capacity to swim. Hint, hint, wink, wink. However, it might need to have a musculature that differs from those of earth lizards in order to pull this off. This is because the muscles involved in running in lizards are also used for breathing, thus making one action interfere with the other. This means they have great difficulty running and breathing at the same time, and can only run in short bursts. But if varactyls were to have a structure like a gall or pump, they may be able to bypass this. Some lizard species, like the monitor lizard, have evolved a gall or pump, which allows them to force air into the lungs through the contraction of the throat muscles, allowing them to breathe while running. The second might be their increased metabolic efficiency, or their ability to perform bodily processes that are needed for them to live and function, as long as they have the energy to do so. This can be explained with experiments that measure the metabolic rate of ratites, the group of flightless birds like ostriches, emus, and ray, as the ostrich's South American cousin. These tests, like the one by Bundle and Company on rays, train the birds to run on treadmills, a condition that would force them to expend more energy. They show that terrestrial birds do indeed have the metabolism to perform these kinds of activities over extended periods of time. Supporting this is their avian lung, which, compared to the mammalian lung, has additional air sacs bound to it that allows air to flow in a single direction through the body. This grants birds access to a constant supply of fresh oxygen, needed to create energy for activities like flight, swimming, and, in this case, endurance runs. Ultimately, the varactyl might have similar adaptations to the ones I've discussed, which, in conjunction with large enough heart permitting oxygen delivery, would explain its speed and endurance. Now I'm curious about the metabolism of other ratites. You know what? I want to find out. I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
20 minutes later.
Don't put a cassowary on a treadmill. So we've established some possible explanations for how the varactyl can run fast for so long, but I think the million credit question here is, how fast can a varactyl run? Fortunately, we have access to some wartime footage that might be able to answer this mystery. It comes from the waning days of the Clone Wars, where the Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi was tasked with subduing the then current leader of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, General Grievous, who was believed to be hiding on Utapau. Assisting Kenobi was a varactyl who is claimed to be one of the fastest of her species, Boga. Anyway, Kenobi eventually found Grievous. They fought for a bit. A bunch of stuff happened. Then things eventually escalated to an all-out chase, where Kenobi and Boga pursued Grievous and his modified SMU-6 personal wheel bike. The SMU-6 has a maximum speed of 330 km per hour, which makes it on par with the Roof's CTR Yellowbird, which had the title of fastest production car in 1987. Not exactly impressive by today's standards, but what is impressive is that Boga was not only able to keep up with Grievous in their chase, she managed to catch up to him after he had a head start. In addition, considering that the SMU was traveling in a nearly linear path, as well as the fact that its driver was a competent pilot with cybernetically enhanced reflexes who was desperately trying to escape, I am confident in saying that Boga managed to chase the bike while it was nearing its peak velocity. As such, I can say that Boga can run at top speed surpassing those of the SMU, which I'm guesstimating would be around 350 to 400 kilometers per hour. This makes Boga over 3 times faster than the fastest land animal on Earth, the cheetah, which has a maximum recorded velocity of 98 kilometers per hour. It also means she rivals the fastest animal on Earth period, the peregrine falcon, which has been known to reach a velocity of 389 kilometers per hour when diving for prey. For comparison, the original version of the infamous Bugatti Veyron's fastest known speed is 408.47 kilometers per hour. What this all means is that Varactyls are not just very fast. They are ridiculously so! And that Obi-Wan probably should have worn a seatbelt. Thus, our analysis on the Varactyl comes to a close. I had hoped to figure out more aspects of this creature, like which specific method it uses to keep up its stamina. But with limited knowledge on this creature's anatomy and physiology available to me, I'm afraid that these are questions that I simply cannot answer. Still, I do look forward to whatever discoveries future scientific research on the animals of this galaxy will reveal to us. Which is why I would say, if it weren't constantly being stalled by non-stop, back-to-back, intergalactic warfare!